Ayan, sunod.
Wala ako eh. Wait lang ah. Ano na yan?
One.
Good afternoon. I'm Shawnee Au, and this is One News Now. The Health Department has released updates on the country's first two Omicron variant cases. To give us the details, we have Jen Calimon joining us live from Malabon. Jen, hi, good afternoon. What is the latest on the contact tracing of those close to these two patients, at least on their flights? Were officials able to locate them and track them down? And are there already additional cases that we should be looking out for?
Hi, Sean. The DOH has identified the one close contact of the returning overseas Filipino worker and the six close contacts of the Nigerian national who tested positive for the Omicron variant. All of their close contacts had negative RT-PCR tests and they underwent the mandatory facility-based quarantine upon arrival in the country. However, Sean, there is one more close contact of the Nigerian national that is still being verified. The DOH is appealing to those co-passengers of the two Omicron variant cases to observe themselves and report and get tested immediately once they experience any symptoms. Sean?
Right. For the health department's part, Jen, is the DOH expecting cases to rise after the detection of the Omicron COVID variant? Are there any specific areas or provinces or regions that we should be concerned about?
So, despite the high vaccination coverage here in Metro Manila, the DOH is uncertain if there will be no increase in cases in NCR or in any other areas of the country because, as we know, Sean, vaccine effectiveness changes depending on the characteristics of a variant. And right now, we still don't have a precise evidence that there is an immune escape for Omicron. Nevertheless, Sean, the DOH is still encouraging everyone to get vaccinated to prevent us from having severe illness. Recently, DOH observed an increase in cases in Iligan City and their reproduction number has also increased. However, their ADAR remains low and there is no reported clustering of cases in that area yet. But then again, Sean, the DOH will continuously monitor the situation in Iligan. Sean?
All right, good to know that, Jen. Now, the IATF already said that Metro Manila will remain under alert level 2 until the end of the year. Will the DOH be recommending the same, or will they be recommending, raising the alert level?
Mm-mm. Well, Sean, the DOH is not yet recommending to upgrade our alert level status because they said that there are some considerations before doing that, and some of the considerations are the case trend and also our healthcare capacity. So right now, Sean, according to Yusek Berhere, there is no reason to upgrade our alert level system because our cases are continuously getting low and our healthcare capacity is still manageable. Son?
Right. What about these various proposals from some groups to immediately close our borders? This, of course, Jen, goes against the recommendation of the WHO. What does the DOH have to say on border controls?
Mhm. Well, Son, the DOH is not keen on closing our borders to health, but our economy and foreign reasons as well. Although, of course, Sean, health public or the health of the public is still our number one priority. We cannot just close our borders to countries that have very few Omicron cases. Sean?
All right, you were choppy right there, Jen, so I'm just going to wrap that up. The DOH is not keen on any border closures, is what you said. Moving on to the next question, Jen, will there be any changes in the government's pandemic response because of the index Omicron cases here in the Philippines?
Sean Yusek Verheri said that there is nothing to change in terms of our COVID response. What we need right now is to intensify and strengthen our PDR-TR strategies, which are proven effective since variants of concern have started entering the country. We also have our corridor strategy from borders to communities and to each home to ensure that we have a defense against any type of variant. Son?
All right, thank you so much for those updates. Jen Calimon joining us live from Malabon. Thank you, Jen. And in the weather, we have Typhoon Odette intensifying further ahead of its expected landfall. Pag-asa last spotted its center some 175 kilometers east of Surigao City in Surigao del Norte. The typhoon is packing winds of 185 to 230 kilometers per hour. Odette is forecast to make landfall over the islands of Siargao, Bukas Grande, or Dinagat this afternoon. It will then cross several areas in the central and western Visayas before emerging over the Sulusi tomorrow. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 4 is now in effect over southern Leyte, the eastern portion of Bohol, the Dinagat Islands, and Surigao del Norte. Parts of Leyte, Cebu, Bohol, Negros Occidental, and the entire provinces of Negros Oriental and Guimaras are under signal number 3. Same goes for some parts of Agusan del Norte and Surigao del Sur. Meanwhile, the areas being flashed on your screens currently are all under signal number 2. And signal number 1 is up over several areas in Luzon and the Visayas. And local governments continue to evacuate residents ahead of Typhoon Odette's landfall. Around 3,500 families from the coastal areas of Tandag City and Surigao del Sur are now in evacuation centers. In Cebu City, local officials have been conducting preemptive evacuations since last night. Whistling winds can be heard and strong waves can be observed in this video from the Dinagat Islands. This was taken earlier today. Meanwhile, police and firemen are seen assisting in the evacuation efforts of the Liloan LGU in southern Leyte. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The government's national vaccine drive has resumed in some parts of Luzon. Let's check out the latest in Subic, Zambales with JC Cosico. JC, how many people are expected to get vaccinated there in the entire 3 days of this new or the second batch of the inoculation drive?
Sean, the Subic LGU targets to vaccinate 9,000 individuals for the 3-day massive vaccination drive phase 2. That's equivalent to 3,000 individuals daily. The town has 8 vaccination sites here, and yesterday they were just able to inoculate over 1,000 individuals. Sean.
All right, so the day one output was much lower than the target. What was the reason behind this? Have they determined?
Sure. According to the Subic Municipal Health Office, one of the reasons why the turnout was low yesterday is that vaccine hesitancy and preference remains to be an issue here in Subic. Apart from that, is many of the residents are working in Olongapo, where there are also vaccination sites. Sean.
Right, so is this new round, the second round of the vaccine drive, JC, doing a lot better than the first round, or are the numbers more or less the same?
Sean, we can't speak yet because it's just day 2. But during the first round of the massive vaccination drive, they were able to exceed their 10,000 target as Subic was able to vaccinate over 11,000 individuals. Sean.
All right, what about nationwide, JC? How many people got vaccinated on day 1 of this extended inoculation drive, or we can call it the second round or the second installment? Did the government hit their target?
Sean, the government targets to vaccinate 7 million individuals for the phase 2. That's 2.3 million individuals daily. But yesterday, the national government was only able to inoculate over 953,000 individuals nationwide. Recall that some regions in the Mindanao postponed or moved their inoculation dates from December 20 to 22 because of Typhoon Odette. But what the officials are saying is that they are confident that they will still be able to achieve the 7 million target. That's after these regions were able to start their respective vaccinations. Sean.
All right, so we'll have to get the comparison a little later on once we get over the typhoon. Now we understand, JC, that Secretary Duque, Health Secretary, was also present today, at least where you are. What did he have to say about our preparedness in handling this new Omicron COVID variant?
Sean, according to Health Chief Francisco Duque III, the Philippines is very much prepared in handling this Omicron variant. He recalled that last year's surges brought by the different variants, it was during that time the Philippines had no COVID-19 shots, but now it's different. There are sufficient supplies of COVID-19 vaccines. Apart from that, he advised the public to continue adhering to minimum health protocols, and LGUs were also told to revisit their preparations and to add more quarantine facilities amid the threat of the Omicron variant. Sean.
All right, thank you so much for all those updates, and stay safe out there in Subic. That was JC Cosico reporting to us live from Zambales. Thank you, JC. Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The COMELEC 2nd Division is asking both parties in the petition challenging Bongbong Marcos's candidacy to submit their memorandum in 5 days. The division also dismissed the motion of the petitioners to subpoena documents relating to Marcos Jr.'s tax conviction case from the BIR or Bureau of Internal Revenue, as well as a Quezon City trial court. The vaccine expert panel will recommend a shorter interval in administering initial doses and booster shots to the FDA. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said the panel will issue its recommendation next week to shorten the time frame from 6 months to at least 3 months. Panel members earlier warned that shortening the interval may have a detrimental impact on vaccine effectiveness. And Miss Universe Philippines 2021 Beatriz Luigi Gomez returns to Manila after her top 5 finish in the pageant. Gomez came home to a Marines welcome and was promoted to Reservist Sergeant of the Philippine Navy. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.